In Amanda Knox's case, we saw just how powerful the media can be. Amanda believes that it worked against her, but in the case of Rodney Reed, we're trying to harness the power of the media to save a man who many believe is innocent. On October 11th, we aired a two-part show about this. Here's the latest on what has transpired since I spoke to Rodney on death row.
I didn't do this crime, and here they are trying to take my life.
What do you make of the fact that they're not rushing to give you a new hearing and bring all of this to light?
The courts are still unwilling to listen.
So far, more than 2 million people have signed an online petition to stop his execution.
A death row inmate in Texas faces execution in just 2 weeks unless a campaign can persuade the governor to intervene.
Here at the Capitol, Republicans and Democrats don't see eye to eye on much, but a bipartisan group of lawmakers agree Rodney Reed's case needs to be considered again.
Since we started beating the drum on this, 26 House members have now sent a letter. Then a bipartisan group of 16 state senators joined with a letter to Governor Abbott and the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles urging that a reprieve be granted, as did members of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. Senator Ted Cruz joined. The state lawmakers and other celebrities have gotten involved.
These chants,
Rodney Reed today, Rodney Reed tomorrow,
days before Rodney Reed is set to be executed.
We've been in the streets for 22 and a half years.
Rodney Reed's family continues fighting for his innocence as they have for over 2 decades.
If we don't do the call to action, which is reaching out to the governor of Texas and others, I have no doubt this man is going to be executed. If we don't do something, this man's going to be executed. We've got almost 3 million signatures on the freerodneyreedcase.com.
There is breaking news tonight in Texas. The state's highest criminal court halted the execution of inmate Rodney Reed.
The judges ruled that there may be new facts and evidence that could affect his conviction.
He was scheduled to die in 5 days for a 1996 rape and murder.
As the news broke Friday afternoon, the Rodney Reed camp celebrated the decision that saved his life.
I don't know when we're going to get opportunity to get that fair trial, but I know we're headed that way.
The Court of Criminal Appeals found the state may have suppressed evidence and presented false testimony during the 1998 trial. For example, Jimmy Finnell, Stacey Stites' then-fiancé, told a jury that he didn't kill her. Later, court docs show he confessed to another inmate in jail, saying, "I had to kill my N-word loving fiancé."
Give him a fair trial, listen to the witnesses, me amongst a lot of other people.
Honestly, just look at the evidence.
Well, as you see, when we do bring attention to it, people are outraged at what happened. And there are so many out there that don't get any attention. You're dealing with another case you mentioned. Say a few words about that one.
Yes, thank you. I was down on death row in Texas in the beginning of this year, visiting a guy named Rob Will. And Rob is just as innocent as Rodney is, and it's a terrible case. In this case, Rob was convicted of murdering a police officer, tragic crime. But he was in handcuffs at the time the officer was shot. He actually, the other person that was there went and shot the officer and then removed Rob's handcuffs and then went to shoot him again. And Rob went to try to prevent that from happening, got shot through the hand. You saw that, right? And he was a victim of everything that could go wrong went wrong in this case. I mean, you can go to freerobwill.org and you'll see some of the things about his case. And a federal judge, Keith Ellison, said there are grave errors in every phase of these proceedings. And he said there's a total lack of scientific or eyewitness evidence in this case. There's no evidence. And yet there he sits on death row, pending a decision from the Fifth Circuit or intervention from the governor.
This is where I see the parallels here, because when you break it down, and I have, there was no evidence against you either.
I know, and what's frustrating about it is, in Rodney's case, just like in my case, they went after the wrong person anyway. I spent 4 years in prison And that was horrible. I'll never get those years back. But there are people in prison right now who have been inside longer than I've been alive.